So I sort of wanted to talk about kind of game mechanics and the similarities I've seen in sort of early 90s, early to mid 90s games. The ones in particular are Doom and Command and Conquer. Now you may think, hold on, those are quite different games, and that's true because one is top down and the other is, like a first person shooter. But nonetheless, I've noticed a similarity. Now, these similarities seem to revolve around the whole concept of managing different things simultaneously in a very dynamic way. And what I'll do is I'll explain further with these two examples. So with Doom, you're managing various things at the same time. You're moving to avoid enemies, shooting, managing your health, managing your ammo, looking for health, looking for ammo, looking for armor, as well as looking for keys and navigating. It's as much about managing all these different factors together to survive as it is about straight up shooting the enemy. And it's the variations of this occurring at any given time that make the gameplay very dynamic and fluid. Now let's look at Command and Conquer, which came out around the same time. It's a totally opposite game because it's a strategy top-down game. It's not a first-person shooter. But what are you doing in this game? Well, you're building up a base, you're gathering resources, you're building units up, you're building defenses. While this is happening, you could be attacked. And while you're doing this, you're getting prepared to do an attack. And there's this fluidity and dynamics of the game because of all these different factors changing at any given time. You could be building up your base and then run out of resources because you didn't manage your resources well enough. You could, building up units and then face an attack, and then you got to rebuild the units left over from the attack, etc. Again, if you think about it, it's the same thing. It's a management of several different things at the same time, like in Doom with the shooting, movement, and looking for ammo and health, etc. Now, the argument I'm going to make is that this kind of singular but very dynamic gameplay that you had back then contrasts very much with the kind of multiplayer gaming you have today. Now, the reason I say that is that with the modern multiplayer game, that in many ways started off with Doom, the dynamics of the gameplay and variation are very much outsourced to the players. The different players and how they approach the game and play the game and their skill level is what's creating the dynamics within that gameplay. This is kind of in contrast to those two types of games I'm just mentioning that have different factors all interacting at the same time, creating the gameplay dynamics within a single player game.